the president is vowing to sign a measure to guarantee free speech on college campuses, regardless of political leanings. The announcement reportedly coming in response to conservative activists being silenced on college campuses across the country.
Today, I'm proud to announce that I will be very soon signing an executive order requiring colleges and universities to support free speech if they want federal research dollars.
And a captive audience indeed. The White House hasn't released any details on when the executive order would be signed.
Joining us now is Dr. Stephen Perry, Interim Dean of the Robertson School of Government at Regent University. Dr. Perry, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
Is an executive action over campus free speech something you'd support? Is this a necessary protection?
I would support it. I think it's something that we live in an environment, especially in higher education, where it's difficult for conservatives to be heard at many universities across the country. And when I taught at Illinois State University, I had students that would come to me as a faculty sponsor of some conservative groups, and they would ask how to deal with certain professors. So it is something that's been going on for years, and I think that the executive action could indeed be helpful.
What kind of impact do you think it'll have on a university like Regent University?
Well, from what the president said in his CPAC address, he sees this as restricting government funds, federal funds for research. Research is not, the federal funds is not something that I'm aware of that Regent is receiving for research. So I guess it depends on exactly how far that executive action goes, whether Regent would even be included, because at this point, we don't have those types of research grants.
Well, there's a flip side to actions like these, right, when it comes to, that could potentially impinge on the freedoms of a Christian university. What are some of the negative aspects?
Yeah, well, obviously a different president will be in charge down the road. So they would say, hey, you know, you can't just give, potentially, you can't just give a Christian viewpoint. But there's a lot more that goes into this. We are permitted freedom of association. This is a private university that I represent. I think state universities and universities that use federal funds are the ones that the government actually has some authority to say things about. But at Regent University, we talk about the need for allowing free speech, and we have students who don't agree with conservative principles for sure. I know I have some in my class now. We had a couple students that came to the office last week asking if there was some way to get Ocasio-Cortez on campus. And so there's people who are advocating for all sides. And so we try to be open, and yet we make it very clear to students that we come at our understanding of the world from a Christian perspective. And so that is kind of our main limitation. We expect students to at least engage in that conversation. They certainly don't have to believe it in the end. We can't force belief.
There's definitely something to be said of a diversity of viewpoints. Final question for you. Would a future administration then be able to force Regent to host a guest or speaker with views, as you just mentioned, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, that are contrary to the teachings, not just maybe politically, but also to the values, the deeply held religious values of the university?
Sure. I don't believe that they could force the university to host someone who was advocating against the university's stated belief system in Christianity, in faith. We certainly could be asked to allow opportunity for people of different views, but the university already does that. The last time around in the presidential election, we put out an open call to people who were running for office, inviting them to come and do forums on campus. We did not have a very diverse set of those views. We had 5 presidential candidates. All of them were on the Republican side. But that's the choice of the candidates, that they decided Regent wasn't a good venue for them.
Dr. Stephen Perry with Regent University's Robertson School of Government, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you, John. Nice to be here.